I think a big part of entrepreneurship is accepting that there's going to be some uncertainty, and that you have to have both the humility and the confidence to walk into the darkness, and have the humility to, realize that we're going to learn a bunch of stuff, probably make a bunch of mistakes, but also the confidence at the same time to say, we'll figure it out when we get down there. And that's okay. And know that there's never going to be a place where it's going to just feel all perfect and normal. And it's, if in life and business, if we're waiting for all of the conditions and all of the people outside of us to be exactly the way we want them to feel okay, we're probably not going to feel very okay most of the time. So, the first strategy on leading through uncertainty is accept that uncertainty, at least for the near term, is just going to be part of our lived experience. I think that's true in business and in life. Could you have predicted some of the things that, you couldn't. I said to somebody yesterday, I said, if you would have wrote the movie 2 years ago, no one would have bought it, because everyone would have said it's not believable. And now it's just happening. It's just our life. So we just have to accept, we have to get okay with the unknown, and I think that requires just some work and some self-awareness and some perspective, uncertain, just being okay with it. The second thing, obviously leading in uncertainty, I think this idea of what is our relationship to certainty. And for example, my mom has a high need for certainty. Any change really disorients her and disrupts her. And so just routine, everything the same, and if there is a disruption, her thinking immediately goes to what could possibly go wrong or get worse, versus what if things got much better? What if and I don't think we spend enough time thinking, what if everything we hoped and dreamed and imagined in 5 years came true? What would that be like? And give ourselves permission to actually spend some time thinking about, what if it all worked out exactly the way we wanted it to? And spend some time in that. I think so often we get obsessed with trying to control things, and we worry about things, and so that's sort of the self-awareness piece. Then simultaneously, if you could be growing in your humility and confidence at the same time, it's the humility to forgive yourself when you make a mistake, to realize that you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. To recognize that at times this is hard because it's so unfamiliar, but that's where my growth happens. And you almost have to become your own self-coach, and coach yourself through those moments in a nurturing, supportive, positive way. And by the way, part of humility also is knowing when you need to ask for help. And one of the questions I like to ask leaders, or have them do as an exercise, is, what am I struggling with right now? And get honest about that. And then where could I use help? And I think so many people arrive at a certain position or station where they perceive that at this level, I should have all the answers, or I shouldn't need help. And the feeling of imposter syndrome can quickly take over when you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're all figuring it out as we go. That's work, that's life. That's certainly entrepreneurship. We make it up as we go. And once I realized that and gave myself permission to do that, everybody's making it up, I actually felt a lot better about the uncertainty. So that's the humility. Then we still have to have confidence. We have to be decisive. We have to put a stake in the ground. We have to be willing to make decisions, perhaps without complete information, and knowing that we're going to have to iterate and course correct. That's part of it. And hard things are coming, but have the confidence that you can navigate hard things because you've done it before. And so best leaders seem to be very self-aware, and they're growing in humility and confidence at the same time. And it starts with you. And then you just have to have really good people around you. And I think it's easier to navigate uncertainty when you're in it with others. And, I think about my life and my business, and we have a great team, and we get through it. And I have great relationships in my life, family, friends. We get through it. And that's part of it. And I think that's part of the adventure. Just if you could build more comfort with uncertainty and view it through a different lens, let's go on the adventure and see what's out there and see what's possible for us. And I think that's a more exciting way to view it than a crippling way to think, well, everything's not exactly the way I want it. It rarely is, in my experience.